Good afternoon, YouTube. I have decided to, this is Kayleen's turn coming at you today with something that I've seen others do, but I had not been personally tagged in it. But I watched another video of this tag. It's the 11 questions tag, and some have done it where they take a sip of whatever they're drinking at the time that they shot the video, and some have not. So apparently that's not an obligatory part of the tag. Not that anything would be an absolute must, like if you don't do it, you're screwed, anything like that. But anyway, so I'd watched a couple other videos since, but I went back to the most recent one that I had watched because it has the questions listed in it. So if you see me leaning forward, I'm looking towards the screen to read the questions, and so I'm going to go ahead and do this tag, and then I am going to tag a few people specifically, but anyone else is open to do it. So the guy that I just watched, Eat Carbs Outdoors, he did it, and he was not specifically tagged, but he had watched someone else and dropped that person's name as a shout out. So this is my shout out for Eat Carbs Outdoors. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get on with the questions. And the first one is, do you prefer to go on a trip alone or in a group? And I have a slightly different take on this one because I have a difficulty getting out of the city on my own because I do not drive. So because I cannot get a license, if I want to go out somewhere outside of the city to do something, I have to have a driver. So I would love to go alone, but the thing is, I would have to have a driver to get me to the place where I want to camp, or to just roam a forest or something like that, or walk on a trail that is not like a city trail. I would have to have a driver. But yet, I like to go out in groups because it's something I can share with, like the camp I went to in October at the Ledges State Park in Boone County, Iowa. I did not shoot any video, although I took my video gear there. I just did not shoot any because, for one thing, there was a whole lot of other people in that park, and I didn't want to include them in the video because it would just have been too difficult to ask them if they would be okay if they showed up in my video. And plus, I spent a lot of time on the second day cooking my food for our potluck that we had. We had a bunch of other people come who did not actually camp, and they just came for the afternoon, and so I just didn't shoot any video. But this next one that I hope to go to, now that the date's been changed, it's a bunch of other YouTubers, and we're all going to be shooting video. So anyway, so going with groups is a whole lot of fun, especially when you have something in common like being a YouTuber, or you were in a group that did something together and you just wanted to get together and have a little more fun. So anyway, that is my take on that first question. Going on to the second one, what has been your most challenging trip to date? Well, the one place I did go, I was actually going to live stream, or try to live stream, or shoot offline video, because I was out in a remote area. But what I had planned to do did not happen because there were not enough spots in any of the canoes that we're going to do just a little group float down one section of the river. So instead, I went off and followed a property owner on her land, plus two other media types, and I had my first aid pack on my back. And it's a good thing I did that, because that hike to where she wanted to take us to was so difficult. It was so swampy, so muddy, and I was wearing my full body swimsuit, which is basically what is called a burkini, but it has a sun protection built into the fabric, which I totally dig. I wish I would have had one of those when I was a kid, but that was so difficult. And watching these other two reporters carrying their tripods and their big cameras, and me, I just had my my skinnier tripod and my phone, plus I had my tablet. So, and one of the others got nicked by a thorn or something, and so we stopped, got into my first aid pack. I treated her on the spot, and then we went on. And but yeah, that was very, very difficult getting into that area and getting out when you're not even dressed for it, because I was wearing boat shoes because I thought I was going to be in a boat. But anyway, but still, that was awesome, just to be able to be there to try to get some footage of something. But what we were hoping to shoot did not happen. We missed it because it just took too dang long to get to that spot. But anyway, being there to help another person out with a little skin injury, that was worth it. So anyway, on to the next one. The third one is, what is the most beautiful sleeping place so far? Well, I have not been to too many places outside of your normal campgrounds, state parks, or anything like that. But I would say I was a camp volunteer worker at a summer camp when I was in high school. And the last year that I was there, my whole family was actually involved in that. But just is on the Des Moines River in Boone County. So just being close to the river was pretty darn awesome. And then, of course, being near Lake Ouachita in Garland County in Arkansas, it's a toss-up between those two. So anywhere along the Des Moines River in Boone County where I've been, and Lake Ouachita in Arkansas, those have to be my top two places so far. But I've never actually camped right along the edge. I've been within walking distance, but just not real close enough where I could just go dip into the water and maybe fill up a pot or a bottle or a bag or something. But yeah, those are my top two spots so far. I can't name one. I have to have those two. So anyway, moving on. The next question is, what winter activities do you do? I have not done any in the past, but what I, in the past probably decade or so, just because of city living and not being able to get out. But what I had done in the past was cross-country skiing when I lived at the YMCA camp outside of Boone, Iowa. We had access to some cross-country skis, so we would ski around the camp property, and that was a whole lot of fun. And then I downhill skied at a couple of different times, once with one group, and in another I was a chaperone for some students from my oldest sister's school. They needed a chaperone and no other staff or parents were available, so my sister asked if I could come along. And so I got my entrance to the small Montezuma ski resort paid for either by my sister or by the school, because I was there as a chaperone. So I had done that. Of course, that was back in the 90s. I had done these things. And so, that is fun. I would love to cross-country ski again. That is totally awesome. And I haven't really done much of anything else in the winter outside of sledding when I was a kid. I'd never ridden a horse in the winter. I think it would be too extremely difficult for both the rider and horse because, neither of you know what's underneath the snow. But skiing would be the thing that I would love to do again. Maybe downhill might not be my thing unless I stick to the bunny hill because of my arthritis and my back issues, but still the cross-country skiing would be totally awesome. I would love to do that again. And moving on to the next one. Have you ever been seriously injured in the outdoors? No, not really. Not enough where I needed hospitalization or, like a emergency, EMT treatment or anything like that. I've never done that. Fortunately, and as we Muslims say, alhamdulillah, all praise be to God, I'd never been seriously injured doing any of that, but I pack for it. When I went to the group camp last October or September, it's actually Labor Day weekend, August into early September through Labor Day, I had a red backpack that I still have near me that I have since added to. That is my group medical pack, and I've since put together a separate trauma kit, and I plan on taking both of those to the camp that I hope to go to in May if I can score a ride. The only thing I need to do is score a ride. But yeah, I do pack for injuries, and in previous camping experiences, I have treated burns. I wrapped a knee, and just a few cuts and abrasions, but I prefer to pack for the worst and hope for the best, and so far that has seemed to be the way to go, and I'll continue to do that. So anyway, moving on. Next question is, do you practice any special survival techniques? Right now, the only thing I do is, as far as fire making, I practice with my ferro rod, and after I get done shooting this video, I am going to shoot a video out on my deck, and I'm going to be lighting up a little bit of Michigan Gold, courtesy of Shalisa Shell. And I promised her when I opened that box set, as soon as the weather got nice and my deck was clean and dry, I would be lighting it up. So I will be doing that in a separate video, but I do have flint and steel set, and I have additional char cloth, and I have not yet tried to make a fire with that, but that will be something done in the near future. But that's pretty much it. I have, because I cannot get out to the woods by myself to a place where I can get away with doing things like that, I have not tried to build any shelters or scavenge for resources. I've not done that, but I hope to do that when I can arrange transportation to do that. And hopefully if I can get out to this YouTuber, this Iowa YouTuber meetup in May, that I'll have an opportunity to roam that area and do some of that stuff. Of course, I'll be taking my tent instead of setting up a tarp shelter because I like my privacy. But, you know, all that other stuff will come in the future. And, of course, I will be taking my water filters in case I have to filter water or boil it or use my purification tablets, which I will also be having on me. But that's all I've done for now, but all that other stuff will come in time. And anyway, moving on, what do you think about a permanent bushcraft camp? I have watched videos of people build them, like TA Outdoors and his dad, Scrambled O, and some of the bushcraft heroes and all these, Survival Lily, all these, and a whole bunch of more, other YouTubers that have built these camps, like a Carlisle 195 and his Debris Village and his other camps. It would be awesome to be able to do that. I would love to be able to do that, but given my current circumstances and my travel issues, that's not going to happen unless I can get access to a place that I would be free to do something like that. But if I had the means to do that, I would so do that. Because that would be a place where I could go practice skills. I could invite others to come, maybe host a bunch of guests to be there, I would love to be able to do that, but that's just not feasible right now. Okay, so moving on. Next question is, what is your favorite recipe for cooking outside? And, well, I haven't done a whole lot of outdoor cooking other than maybe, stuff that's very easy, like cooking sausages, beef bacon, the few things that I've done in Canteen Cup Tuesday videos that I've done out on my deck, or my I did my Mess Kit Monday video in my kitchen because the weather was just plain crap. But I would love to just take some ingredients and make a soup or a stew. Like last year when I went out to the ledges, I sort of cheated by taking a noodle, like a dried pasta mix, and I added a pouch that came from USMRE, and actually mixed those two together because the pasta was just pasta. It was a vegetarian, well, it's stroganoff flavored, but it didn't have any actual meat in it. But I took a pouch that was from an MRE, and I think that had beans and some kind of halal meat in it, and I took that and mixed those together along with adding some little bit of water, and I cooked that on my fire pit that we had at my campsite. So anything I can do like that would be good. I've never had Mountain House. I've never had Backpacker's Pantry or any of those others. But to me, that's, that'd be more cheating than the cheating I've done so far. But, just cooking anything over a flame is so cool. And I would love to do some more of that. So if I get to go to this camp in May, I am going to be taking some halal meats and putting a flame to them. I don't know what, because, I'm not sure how many's going to go or how we're going to do the food. That all has to be fleshed out. But anyway, I'll be taking some beef bacon and probably some halal sausages, or maybe some chicken breasts or something like that. And maybe some spices to put on them. So that's probably what I'll be doing. Anyway, so moving on. Next question. How do you motivate yourself in bad weather? Well, I guess just you got to live with it. You got to take the good with the bad. Although I guess I'm a bit of a city slickin' wuss, because I haven't gone out on my deck to do much in bad weather. Although spring of last year, when we had a power outage, it was still plenty warm enough. It was warm enough that I wasn't too cold, and I took my homemade alcohol stove and poured contents of an MRE entree pouch into my canteen cup and cooked that up, and one of my neighbors said, noticed that I was on the deck, and she asked me what I was doing. I said, yeah, I'm cooking my dinner. And she heard me talking, and she asked me if I was shooting a video. I said, yeah, I'm shooting a video of me doing it. And, she was fine with that, so. But, yeah, okay, there's one sip for you. Have a drink. Yeah, it's some hot tea. But, yeah, I don't get to do a whole lot of... I don't do a whole lot of that much. For one thing, I don't have a lot of resources that I can store here for doing that. And I would love to do it other places, besides my deck, but I still have to figure out where I can go in the city where I can get away with doing some of that stuff. But I don't mind walking in the rain. In fact, I would love to get out in the rain in a serious rainstorm and put my new purse to the test that is supposed to be water resistant, although the zippers are not covered. So I don't know how that will fare, but I do want to test that out. So I am looking forward to a good hard rain where I can take that out and test it out and see how weather resistant it actually is. And but as far as just if I have to be out in the weather, I deal with it. I don't complain too much. Yeah, I'll complain a little because I'm human, and I guess we're all human, so I just deal with it, I guess, and hope for better times. Anyway, moving on. The number 10 is, what is your dream destination? That would be a hard one, because there are so many different places where I would love to go. What I've seen from other YouTubers, especially in other countries, I would love to go to various parts of rural England. If I could be the guest of an English or Scottish or Irish YouTuber, that would be sweet. I would love to go to Canada. Some places in Canada that I have seen on YouTube, say like from Joe Robinette, or bushcraft heroes, and Dug Outdoors, and some other good Canadians that I have watched, or and I would love to go back down to I'd love to go to Poland. Actually, I'm Polish, I'd love to go to Poland. I'd love to, be the guest of a Polish bushcrafter or Polish prepper, someone who knows that area. I would love to do that. I would love to fish the Vistula. I'm hoping that river is so much cleaner than the Des Moines River, because I will not fish it. I tried once. All I caught was snags or sticks, but the way the water is now, I will not fish it. But yeah, I'd love to go to England, Scotland, or Ireland, or Canada, or Poland. Those would be my spots that I will go to. And of course, my brother's place in Arkansas in the Ouachita National Forest. I'd like to spend some time on his property, because he's got a nice little 2-acre spot full. It's 3/4 of it is forest, and so it's great deer and other wildlife habitat that he has. So I'd love to spend a few days down there. But again, getting down here is a problem. But anyway, so the last and final question is, what is your heaviest piece of equipment? Well, I don't have a whole lot that's probably real heavy, other than, well, my sleeping bag is a heavy one, because it is a very old Coleman fiber fill sleeping bag that I've had for probably 25 years, if not longer. I have no idea when I got that thing. But that is a bit of a beast, even though I've found a compression sack that I was able to stuff it into, because the plastic thing that it came in was starting to fall apart, and I just could not keep taping it. That, or my 10x12 poly tarp, that was a freebie at an event called the Really Free Market, where people just put out stuff for others to take, and then it's basically you take what you like, and then you share with others who might have an interest in your item. So that was a freebie. And then I have a 12x16 camo poly tarp that is a bit lighter. Maybe it's supposed to be a ripstop, but I don't know about that, because it looks just like the other one. It's just bigger and camo. So those are the heaviest things that I have. I don't have any big axes or anything of that nature. I just don't have those, and really haven't been able to get those. And I'd probably get weird looks if I go to Walmart or Home Depot and buy one, and then hop a bus with this big old axe. I'd probably get some weird looks. But yeah, I don't have anything heavier than those 3 items. Unless, well, my tent's probably about the same weight. My new tent, that's probably about the same weight as the 2 poly tarps. Of course, if I added some extra steaks and quarters to that bag soon, because those would be for sharing in case they're needed if I get to go to camp in May. But yeah, those are the 11 questions, and I think what I will do, I will grab these off of this other person's page, and I will paste them into the description of this video. And that way, if anyone else wants to do the tag, they can have the questions right there. And as far as those people that I want to tag, let's see, I haven't seen a video from Country Prepper for a while. You know, he's wanting to do more videos. You know, his health is starting to get better. He can't do the Kydex thing anymore, at least not for time being, until he beats this liver disease. But I do want to tag him, and I'll probably send him a message that I'm tagging him in this. I want to tag, let's see, I think I'm going to go across the pond with this one. I am going to tag Girl Outdoors. She is a teen who has a great channel. She's over like 3,000 subscribers. She has her own bushcraft camp. And I recently watched a video of her doing an overnighter in a field, and it rained during the night, and her mother dropped her off at the place where she was going to start her hike. So she hiked to the place where she wanted to go, and she did her camp, and then she hiked back to her pickup point. But she has her own bushcraft camp, which she built with the help of her dad. So her parents support her in this, and she makes great videos. She has great camera work, and she has been gifted some unique items that are from people who really have respect for someone in the next generation, someone who has a desire to do this. So Girl Outdoors, I will message her, let her know that I'm tagging her in this. And then the third person that I want to tag is, let's see, who can I pick on next? I think I will tag, let's see, Native Tears has done it. Actually, I think I'll tag Nicole Lake Erie Prepper. So those are the ones that I'm going to tag. And I will put the links to their channels down there so you can go check them out. So Country Prepper, Girl Outdoors, and Nicole Lake Erie Prepper. These are the three that I'm going to tag. And so I'll go ahead and get this video uploaded. And then I will, while that's uploading, I will get stuff set up for my next one, which will be a little bit of flame action. So thanks for watching.